Hello everybody, this is Andree. Today we are going to work on the spine, and we're going to break down our work of the spine in three sections: the cervical spine, the thoracic spine, and the lumbar spine. Most of the work we're going to do are going to be on our hands and knees to start with, and then we're going to move to the floor or lying supine. So for that session today, you're going to need a blanket, and you are going to need 2 blocks. And this is all you're going to need. So let's begin now on your hands and knees. So let me say first that if you have wrist issues, then I'm going to ask you to, because we're going to be in cat-cow pose for a while, and I'm going to ask you to put your forearms on 2 blocks. But that means that if you have to do that, you're going to need an extra block or something to put on your back. So let me begin by showing you the first exercise that we're going to do. We're going to address the lumbar spine. So the block is going to go onto your thoracic spine. So you're placing the block right on top of your shoulders. On your hands and knees. So make sure the block is there nice and, so the block is only there to give you feedback when we move the spine in section. So we're going to start first standing here on your hands and knees and stabilize your body in that position. Stabilize your spine. So your core is engaged, your spine is in a neutral position. Take a couple of breaths here. Make sure that you adjust your hands so that your wrists are beneath the shoulders and your knees are basically beneath the hips. So the first cat-cow pose we're going to do is moving the lumbar spine only. So as you inhale, you're going to extend the spine. Remember, we're not moving the thoracic spine. As you exhale, you're going to run the lumbar spine. So the shoulders and upper body is staying still as much as you can. Okay, and again, inhaling and exhaling. So let's continue to take a few breaths this way. With the in-breath, you come into the cow position, which is the back bend. With the out-breath, you come into the cow position, the cat position, which is the flexing. So let's do that again 3 more times. So notice how much control you need to exercise to keep the thoracic spine from moving. Let's do 1 more breath here. And return to a neutral spine, again stabilizing the spine. Now we're going to address the cervical spine. So you are going to lift your head up, and then drop the head. Again, only moving the neck. So you take an in breath as you lift the head. You take an out breath as you lower the head. So let's take a few breaths here, moving only the neck, keeping the rest of your spine stable. Let's do 2 more breaths. One more breath. Now we turn into neutral. Now we're going to just turn the head to the right, back to the center, turn the head to the left, back to center. Let's do that 4 more times. Turn to the right, center, turn to the left. 3 more breaths on your own. Don't make the movement too aggressive. Be very mindful about how your neck feels as you're doing this. Let's take 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. And now you're going to press your child's pose to rest your wrist. Move the block off your back and stretch your child's pose. Let's take 5 breaths here. Feeling the chest expand with the in-breath and feeling the body contract with the out-breath. And let's come back to your hands and knees. Now we're going to place the block onto the lumbar spine on your hands and knees. And once again, you want to stabilize your spine. Breathing in and breathing out. Now we are going to move only the thoracic spine as we inhale. And then exhale, rounding the upper back. Trying to keep the lumbar spine stable. Again. So this is not a lot of visual movement. This is all internal movement. Keep the arms firm. Let's do 1 more breath. And come back to neutral, breathing normally without moving the spine. Now we are going to twist from the waist up. So you're going to turn the left shoulder toward the right a little bit, come back to the center, and then turn to the left. So the head turns a little bit, but don't lean with the head. Now this is the action in your core that you need to make happen to avoid the hips from moving. So we twisting, we're not moving the hips at all. and then come back to the center. Take 5 breaths here. So now we are going to, you're going to press your chest pose to take a little break for your wrist. Again, remember, if your wrists are bothering you, you can always come onto your forearms to do these movements. Take 5 breaths in child's pose. Once you've taken your 5 breaths, we're going to move the block back onto your lumbar spine. Again, stabilizing the spine. Now we're going to move the hips, twist from the waist down, come back to the center, and move the hips to the other side. So don't let the shoulders go along for the right. So the shoulders are staying stable to the right. Keep the belly engaged. Back to center and to the left. So avoid this big movement. This is a very controlled twist. Keep the arms fully extended. It's really easy to forget that. Let's do 2 more breaths. Moving the hips to the right, back to the center, moving to the hips to the left. Back to the center. Let's do that one more time. To the right, back to center, and to the left. Back to the center, press your chest pose. Keep your blocks by your side. Extend the arms forward. Release your forehead down. Take 5 breaths here. Feel the breath expand the thoracic spine, the upper body. Feel the out breath contract the whole body. And then slowly sit up. So the next exercise we're going to do, you are going to, we're not going to have any blocks, so no blocks. You're going to come to your right, to your hands and knees again. So this time, without moving the thoracic spine again, you're going to bring your left here to your right, back to center. Bring your left here to your left. And take your time doing this. This is not a rush movement. Take the time to feel the movement as you turn. Bring your left here to your right, back to the center, left here, right here to the left. Let's do 3 more breaths this way. Left ear to the right, right ear to the left. Let's take 2 more breaths. It takes a lot of control to isolate the movement of the spine. Let's do 1 more breath. Coming back to the center, press your child's pose. You don't have to go fully into the sharp pose. You can just come onto your knees and rest your wrist. So now we're going to come back to our hands and knees, and we're going to do the full cat-cow pose. So it means that the whole spine is going to work. Okay, so now we've just isolated section of the spine. Now we want to integrate the whole spine. So let's begin with the in-breath. As you take your in-breath, begin to lift the tailbone, running the lumbar spine, extending the lumbar spine, extending the thoracic spine, and the head goes up. As you take your out breath, you curl the tailbone down, run the lumbar, run the thoracic spine, and then drop the head. So let's do 5 breaths this way. Inhaling. And exhaling. 3 more breaths. At least when you go into the cat position, the belly, the navel moves way in toward the spine. And as you take your in breath, the whole spine lengthens. You feel the stretch in your belly. Let's do 2 more breaths. Feel each section of the spine working together. One more. So with the out breath, you extend the spine into the cow position. And with the out breath, you round the back. And press the child's pose. Now take your arms alongside your body and just rest the back of your hands to the floor. Take whatever you need to support your forehead as you drop in your head toward the floor or to the floor. Let the arms relax, let the shoulders relax. You can even move your fingers. You can rotate the wrist. Just take one more breath here. And let's sit up. So now we're going to take one block and we're going to put a right knee onto the block. Now you're going to bring your left knee, try to keep it as aligned as you can with the right knee. Place your hands on the floor. Okay. All you're going to do now is lift the left knee to the level of the right knee. Keep looking forward. It's very tempting to look down. Lower the knee down. It's perfectly fine if you want to check, make sure your knee stays in alignment. And again, up, down, try to keep the shoulders stable. Let's do 3 more of those. Left knee up, only to the level of the right, and down. 2 more, up, down, and 1 more. Try to keep the knee lined up with the hip, and down. Now keeping your left hand on the floor, open up and stretch to your right in a twist. Exhaling back to your hands and knees. Let's move the block to the other side. Placing your left knee onto the block, right knee in alignment with the left knee. Lifting the So keep looking straight forward. Lift the right knee up. Lower the knee down. Knee up. You can check what's around, make sure you're still in alignment. Knee down. 3 more. Up. Down. 2 more. Up. Down. 1 more. Up. And down. And open up to your left into a twist. And come back to your hands and knees and move the block to the side. Let's do either dolphin. If I let's hold you dolphin because your wrist may be sore after holding the cat-cow pose that long. So interlace your fingers, press your forearms onto the mat, walk your knees back. Begin by first stretching the shoulders, then tap your toes under, press into dolphin pose. And come back to your knees. So now we are going to take, this one you need your blanket and the block. So you're going to take the block for your head. So the block is going to be for your head. You're going to take the blanket and you're going to sort of roll it into a little ledge and place it here. So you're going to lie down supine. So you want the blanket to be on your upper back. Adjust the block so it's comfortable underneath your head. Keep your knees bent. Keep your hands on your ribs. And let's take a couple of breaths here. Now you're going to interlace your fingers behind your head. And then keep your head heavy in your hands as you pull the head forward. And gaze at your navel. And then release the spine down, again, the head down, by stretching back down. Try to keep your elbows nice and wide. But again, you want to exhale to lift, gaze at your navel. You inhale to return the head to the block. Let's do that 3 more times. Exhale up. Inhale down. 2 more breaths. One more. And come back down. Okay. Now you're going to sit up, you're going to move the blanket lower so that is at the base of your shoulder blades. Place your hands on your hips again. So now notice now is a little bit more of a spine extension. So we are going to repeat the same thing. You're going to bring your hands behind your head. You're going to inhale here, and then as you lift, Go to exhale, gaze at your navel, and release back down. So notice the difference on the spine based on the position of the blanket underneath your back. Let's come up again. Really navel, pulling toward the spine. You can let the belly relax as you release down. Make sure you contract the belly before you lift. We're going to do 2 more. One more. And release all the way down. Place your hands on your ribs. So notice that when we use support in the right place on the back, you take away the stress you may feel in your back when you do this sort of exercise, like what we call crunches, right? Because crunches can be bad for your back if you feel it in your back. So right now, the back should feel totally comfortable. All the action is in your core muscles. Now we're going to move the blanket underneath the lumbar spine. Now, make sure that the blanket is not underneath your sacrum, which means that your sitting bones, your butt, should be on the floor. You have your head on the blocks to protect your neck. So now you're feeling a little bit more of that back bend action. So take a moment here to breathe into that space with your hands on your ribs. Now you're going to interlace your fingers behind your head again. So let's begin first to crunch. Okay, notice the difference now that the blanket has been moved to the lumbar spine. You're going to inhale in the center, down, inhale in the center, and then lift, pull the navel in, gaze at your navel, and release down. We're going to do that 4 more times. Three more times. Begin to feel that work in your belly, maybe a little bit more. 2 more times. One more time. And then release down. And take a moment here, keep the blanket exactly where it is. Breathe into your hands. Now this day you may find an easiness to your breath that you didn't have at the beginning of class. The diaphragm begins to relax. Now you're going to bring your hands behind your head again. This time we're going to do an oblique twist. You're going to bring your right knee in, and then you're going to pull in, bringing your left elbow to your knee, coming back to the center, and do the other side. Left knee in, pull, up, back, down. 4 more on each side. Three more. Going to do 2 more. Now this each time I go back to neutral before I go to the other side. 1 more. back to the center. Now move the block, bring the blanket underneath your sacrum, knees bent, place your hands on your hips, and pause there, taking a few breaths. So this is a restorative core practice. And then you're going to roll to your side to come up. Now we are going to lie down sideways onto the blanket. So you're extending your right arm underneath your head, and your waist is on top of the blanket. Now bring your legs a little bit forward for stability. If you can definitely keep your hand on the floor for stability, or you can place your hand on your top leg. Let's just pause here. Now rock back a little bit and then rock forward a little bit. Let's just explore here your center of gravity. Now you're going to stretch your right leg up. Keep extending the leg and lower the leg down. Lifting the leg up, lower the leg down. Let's do that 3 more times. Left leg up, right leg and leg down. 2 more. And last one. And let's go to the other side. So make sure that you position yourself exactly the way you were on the other side. The blanket is underneath the waist. You bring your legs a little bit closer, a little bit forward, and you check your center of gravity by leaning forward and back. And once you feel stable here, again, you can have your hand on the floor for stability. Begin to stretch your right leg up and stretch the leg down. So really root the bottom leg to keep you stable. Right leg up and down. 3 more. Two more. And 1 more. Good job. Okay, let's move. We're gonna move the blanket out to the side. You're gonna bend your knees, planting the feet. And you're going to place the block between your knees. And of the block, it could be this way. It depends on your body. If you have wide hips, you may want to have the block this way or the block this way. Because you're holding the block between your knees, but you're not really squeezing really hard. Just the block, or hold the block there. And then begin to curl the tailbone, tuck the tailbone in. So we do not lift at the sacrum. and then you're going to tilt the tailbone down. So we do the mini cat-cow pose on the backs. Again, tucking the tailbone in, running the back, and then releasing down into the mini cow position. Let's do that 3 more times. Again, a lot of action here in your core. 2 more times. And 1 more. And release back to neutral spine. So observe the difference between when your spine is resting, is not extended and is not flexed, is in its normal curvature. And notice the difference when you tuck the tailbone in this side, because and then lift the hips up this time. And then release back down, starting between the shoulder blades, the knee, the back, the lumbar spine, and the sacrum down. Let's do that 2 more times. Tuck the tailbone in, peel the spine off the floor, and stretch the spine back down as much as you can, vertebra by vertebra. Take a moment to take a full breath here as you rest through the spine in neutral. And then we're going to do that 1 more time. Curl the tailbone in, peel the spine off the floor until the belly is totally flat. And then curl your spine back down. And remove the block. And pull your knees in. I'm going to pause there. Flatten the back on the floor. And then you're going to come up. So for the next exercise that we're going to do, I'm going to give you an option for those of you who have bent knees and you cannot sit in Virasana. So we could use a blanket this way on your mat. So let's begin first, and this is how you know whether you're ready to go to the next stage. So you're on your knees and you want to open the back of the knees by moving the flesh out to the side as you sit between your feet. So those of you who cannot sit between your feet, then right now sit on the block. So here you get to investigate whether this is okay for your knees to do that. So if this is not okay, if already you're here and you're feeling a lot of discomfort, then those of you who cannot do that, we're going to do reclined cobblers pose. So that would be feet together. You want to lie your spine onto the blanket, letting the knees release out to the side. So this is what you're going to do if you cannot do Supta Virasana. Those of you who can do Supta, so if you're in this position, you can stay in. Those of you who are going to do Supta Virasana, recline hero pose. So you open the back of your knees, you sit between your feet, and you want to have your knees together. So don't let the knees flare out to the side. So you want to rotate the knees from the inside out, bringing the weight toward the little toes. Now you're going to slowly begin to go back. So you screw the tailbone in as you go back into your pose Supta. Extend the arms over your head. And then let the arms rest out to the side. Let's take 5 breaths in this position. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then to come up, you're going to press your hands on your feet to come all the way up. Come onto your hands and knees, walk your knees back, and come to downward facing dog. Stretching the back of your legs. And then come to your knees. So we are going to do Septibandha. So Septibandha is a good alternative to shoulder stand. So for people who cannot bring their legs up into shoulder stand, then Septibandha gives you very similar benefits. Okay, so for that you're going to take your 2 blocks. So you place a block like so onto your mat. Then you're going to take your blanket. You can unroll it a little bit and just fold it twice and then place a blanket onto the block. Okay? Now you're going to sit on the block. And you're going to start with the knees bent. You're going to lie back. And then you want to move back until your shoulders are on the floor. So let's keep the knees bent for now. You can have the knees in alignment with the hips. Extend the arms over your head. So there should be no discomfort in your neck. And now bring the arms by your side and stretch your legs out. So keep the legs separated. And let's take 5 breaths. If that's hard on your back, you can definitely keep the knees bent. So you choose the position of your legs. If your legs are extended, you want to keep the legs fully active. Imagine your feet are pressing into a wall. So now you're going to bend your knees, everybody. Place your feet on the block. So you don't move, you don't have to move anything. And then stretch your left leg up and stretch your right leg up. Bend your elbows, lift between the shoulder blades. And we're going to take 10 breaths here. Keep extending the legs up. So try not to bring the legs towards you, keep the leg vertical. So your whole back is supported, shoulders are on the floor, so you get that wonderful opening in your chest. And just close your eyes for about 5 breaths. You know, you can always have the option to be against the wall when you do this. Feel the breath. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then bend your knees. And roll off the block to come back to your hands and knees. So we're going to do one more exercise on our knees. You're going to place the block between your knees. Have your hands on the floor. So we're going to repeat what we were doing earlier. First, twisting from the waist up, from side to side. Let's do 2 more of those. One more. Back to the center. And now we're going to twist the hips. So you twist your hips to the left and then to the right. To the left. So you feel the stretch on the side body. And then press back to child's pose. Take your block and then place your forehead on your block. Just rest here. And direct the breath to your back. So your back should feel soft and spacious. And then sit up. Before we go to Shavasana, I'm going to have you sit with your legs nice and wide, hands behind you, all 10 toes pointing straight up to the ceiling, cupping the fingers behind you to lift the spine, and breathe. So the session today was really about awareness. How do you pay attention to how you move your spine? And now we are going to lie down to Shavasana, and you are going to use your 2 blocks or your blanket. You decide what you want to use. And you're going to place the block underneath your knees or the thighs, and take your time for the block to be in a comfortable place. Okay, you lie back, slide the shoulders down your back by using your elbows to lift, So you creating that opening in your chest. Let your arms rest by your side. Let the feet relax. Let the whole legs relax. Let the skin on your belly relax. You can close your eyes or just let your eyes stay open until they will close by themselves. So let's begin to bring awareness to the movement of the breath. So you are concentrating on letting the body breathe. You are not forcing the breath in any direction. Can you relax the whole body from the sole of your feet to the crown of the head? Let your mind scan the body, noticing any residual tension left in some parts of the body. Wherever you find some tension, you want to take your exhalation and you want to exhale into the relaxation. Feel the weight of your body. And relax the facial muscles. Soften the lips. Create space between the eyebrows. Notice the thoughts in your head, if any. So you're going to bend your knees and plant the feet. Roll to your side to come up to seated position. So take the support you need to sit. you just take a moment in Sukhasana with the legs crossed. Take your hands by your side and then lift the spine. Maintain the lift as you bring your hands back down to your thighs. So today, this movement were really precise and very small. And so sometimes it's really difficult to do a session like this. So just remember that this is not about, am I doing it right or wrong? It's more about, can I be fully present in my body as I move? And that trains the mind so that when you do more active yoga classes, you are able to stay present as you move. Now join your palms. Take a deep breath in. Then lower your head, bow to yourself with gratitude. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I see you either on Fridays at 10 a.m. or next Sunday in 2 weeks.